Hello and a very good afternoon to all our viewers. You're locked on to Sri Lanka's number one sports hub, ThePapare.com, and the March Madness continues, and it continues the rugby playing field as the Singer Schools Rugby League 2019 Week 2 comes alive here in Nittawela as St. Joseph's College travel all the way down to Kandy to face another St. Anthony's College team here in the Nittawela Stadium. The Kandy Sports Club home ground for the first time. St. Joseph's College winning their first game. St. Anthony's losing their first one. Very unfortunate turn of events for the Anthonians in their first week. But St. Joseph's will not be very happy with their game as well in the first week. So a lot of room for improvement. It's just the early stage of the school's rugby league. We are going to have a few more weeks of exciting first round action before we go to the second round. But before that, joining me alongside is Dinuk Bhaskar. Dinuk, it has been a exciting first week of Singer Schools Rugby. What can we expect in this second round?
Their patterns. First round was more or less a practice or just to burn out of what they started. What they started in the first round, but here in the second round, more or less now they've identified their strengths, weaknesses, what they need to improve. All those stuffs coming into play, and now this week is going to be more interesting because it's an action-packed week in Kandy, isn't it? We have Joe's coming here, Peter's coming tomorrow, Isipatana coming on Sunday, and then we have Wesley coming to Kurunagal on Sunday as well. So it's action-packed week up in Kandy. Across the ditch is the Trinity versus St. Anthony's big match happening, and Anthony's are cruising at the moment, and they would like to have the rugby team cruising here as well today, but it's going to be a tough ask. Joe's is a well-conditioned team. Anthony's didn't look like they were in Colombo, but they are a talented team for sure.
I couldn't agree anymore. St. Anthony is a very experienced, very skilled team, I would say. Like you said, it's been a week of travel for the Colombo Schools, Colombo Schools Dinuk. St. Anthony's last week travelled all the way down to Isipatana at Havelock Park, but that first half St. Anthony's showed some kind of fighting spirit. It was 12 points to 6, but then come that 45th minute they just let loose and then gave Isipatana the freeway and they scored 30 points. Not the best week coach Ronnie Ibrahim and his team would have wanted.
Yeah, Coach Ronnie would have known that going into Colombo because he has seen the senior Kandy club team struggling to play the club teams in Colombo. So this team as well, when they went to Colombo, the first 50 minutes is always important. That's when you need to score a lot of points and then try and hold the opposition off. But Isipatana managed to hold St. Anthony's. If you take Trinity travelling to Zaira also that week, the first half was solid, but then when the heat factor comes in, it's very tough for Kandy teams to adjust in Colombo. But saying that, being here for the past couple of days in Shaf, it's not that different in terms of heat in Kandy.
Welcome for the Anthonian team in the form of firecrackers from the Anthonian fans. As you said, Dinuk, the humidity levels are clearly not helping. We'll take a quick look as to how the weather stands today. It is nothing too different from what we've seen in Colombo. There you go, that is partly cloudy is the prediction, and the minimum temperature goes as 25 degrees, but take a look at that humidity level, 74%, but it's going to increase come the first half, but then later deteriorate come the second half. So it's going to be a very tough task for both the teams to adjust and amend and play their game in that pattern. But St. Anthony's have been playing most of their rugby. It's the home for the Anthonians here in Nittawela, but they have been training at the Diggana grounds most likely for a majority of their games. So it'll be interesting to see how they get accustomed to these Nittawela playing patterns.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it? It's a totally different ball game when you come to Nittawela. Most of them talk about the crowd, but I talk about the pitch itself, how it turns out to be in the second half. There used to be a famous slope downhill in Nittawela, but I think they've evened out that now. But if you take St. Anthony's, it's a born and bred condition here for them in Nittawela. They have done that for some time now. But on the other hand, St. Joseph's, it's not easy travelling up to Nittawela and playing in Shaf. It's a tough opponent. If you get a tough opponent, someone like Anthony's who have tried and tested conditions here. Whereas St. Joseph's travelling here, it's crucial they hold up to that 80 minutes or 70 minutes in this case. That's one reason that most school teams is not being tested, just because it's a 70-minute game. But if it's 80 minutes, it would have been a totally different ball game. But in this case, St. Joseph's will have their work cut out. Both brothers coaching and both brothers not strange to these conditions.
Brings back a lot of memories, I would say. Coach Rani Ibrahim, former Sri Lanka national coach as well, coached that Kingswood side in 2003 and 2005, 2004. Fazim Marja captained that champion outfit, led them to a league title, but then let's see what Coach Rani Ibrahim has with him in when he sends his boys, the St. Anthony's team, out to the field. A lot of action coming to you this weekend. A lot of cricket action in the March Madness. There is the battle in the north as St. John's take on St. Patrick's. That's coming to you live on your number one sports sub as well. And then focus is on the Battle of the Blues, the 104th edition, Royal College taking on St. Thomas's. So it's a lot of action coming to you on your number one sports sub. We'll take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have lots to talk about from the two teams and in the Schools Rugby League.
To be a man is to sweat for every last inch of it. The harder you push yourself, the louder your body will protest. From sweat to grease, grease to dandruff. Fight back with Clear Men, 2 times the fighting power of ordinary shampoos. Beat grease, beat dandruff. Unbeatable performance for the unbeatable man. Power through the odds. Clear, zero dandruff, nothing to hide.
Sri Lanka Samage Terima, no limit. Drift in search of happiness. Fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination.
I have news. Let's meet.
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ පදම පරක්කු ඇයි
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් පුබුදා
හොඳම මැලිබන්තේ
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා මැලිබන්තේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා
පදම වරුනේ
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා
මැලිබන්තේ පදමට කහට
Sri Lanka Samage Terima, no limit.
When she's special, she's not just a girlfriend. She is your sweetheart. When you feel it, you don't just call it sunshine. You call it warmth. When you reveal your deepest emotions, it's not just art, it's freedom. And when its essence is premium cocoa butter, it's not just chocolate, it's Ravello. Chocolate so special, you call it Ravello.
Then Goldeo body spray. හඳුන්වාදෙන අලුත් මාදිලි හතරකින්. Blaze, Challenge, Storm සහ Rave. අදම try කරන්න. Goldeo body spray. පැය 24 පුරා.
අපේ අම්මා change වෙලා වෙලා උඩේකට change වෙලා වෙලා යායකට change වෙලා වෙලා අපේ අම්මා change වෙලා දැන් යහපෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. මැලිබන් යහපෝෂ රස එකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
The pinnacle of school cricket. The journey to glory. The road to greatness. March Madness 2019. From 1st March to 6th April, live on channel number 77 and Dialogue Now, channel number 1 on your Dialogue television.
The choice of every Sri Lankan. No limit.
Crunchy munchy.
Fiery kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites only from Crescent.
වැඩි දියුණු ටෝකියෝ සුපර් ඕන වැඩකට සුපර්.
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ. පදම පරක්කු ඇයි?
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් පුබුදා.
හොඳම මැලිබන් තේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා. මැලිබන් තේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා.
මැලිබන් තේ පදමට කහට.
Stumble upon a surprise. Fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination.
අපේ අම්මා change වෙලා වෙලා උඩේකට change වෙලා වෙලා යායකට change වෙලා වෙලා අපේ අම්මා change වෙලා යාපෝෂ මැලිබන් යාපෝෂ අම්මා දෙන්න යාපෝෂ මැලිබන් යාපෝෂ. දැන් යහපෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. මැලිබන් යහපෝෂ රස එකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
සතුට බෙදන නම ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම සනසුම දෙන නම එය සිංහ නම මිහිර මවන නම පවස නිවන නම මුල් පවුලට සතුට සදන සිඟ අත විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
Welcome back to live action here with Sri Lanka's number 1 sports hub, ThePapare.com. And the news from the match organisers is that we'll be having a delayed start for the first 15 action as per the request of the whole school. Nittawela will be having the match kick off at 4:30 p.m. So that's a reminder to all our viewers that the match will kick off at 4:30 p.m. So I think it makes sense, Dinuka, with the big match right on the other side. It will give us the fans as well to make way to Nittawela to watch this match as well.
Yeah, true. That is one aspect, and the other is Inshaf, the heat. That is which we have already got a warning from the Met Department for the heat wave. and it's terrible standing out there. So good for the boys, and that will keep the match entertaining as well, which will give boys more energy, because Candy once at 4:30 and 4:45, 5 o'clock, it tends to be get a little bit cooler. The breeze flows across Nittawela Stadium. That can be a nightmare for the kicker sometimes, but overall I think playing conditions will be much better with a 4:30 p.m. start.
St. Anthony's will clearly be very much delighted with this news. But then last week's result wouldn't have pleased them too much. We'll take a quick look at as what happened last week, the week 1 of the Singer Schools Rugby League, and this is what that took place.
Yeah, St. Thomas's versus St. Peter's was a cracker, isn't it? 20 points to 19. What a comeback there by St. Thomas's in the season opener.
But then this game, Sudash, it started off with St. Peter's clearly dominating. Robin Fernando, Sandesh, Dimel clearly outwitting that Tobin outfit. But then somewhere down the line, in the 45th, that was a breakthrough. And then it looked like St. Thomas's have brought their A game back.
Yeah, St. Thomas's, that reminds me of good old days of St. Thomas's, where they'd never give up, and that grit was there with the boys this time, and this will take them a long way. You remember that they're playing Royal in their biggest trophy game on Monday, so that's going to be a cracking one as well. I think it's a Michael Gunratna trophy, if I'm not mistaken.
Royals currently leading that 32 wins to 19. So St. Thomas is very hopeful. But then St. Joseph's College won against Science College, a very not so convincing victory from the Josephians. Looking at the way, I think that's because we've seen St. Joseph's at their highest peak last season. Dinuk, I will talk about Joseph's soon, but then Isipatana College are slowly but surely rising back into dominance. I think the Green Machines have clearly seen a new hope. I think the new coaching staff, Viper Gunratna, master technician, alongside Lasindi Costa and Henry Terrence.
Yeah, Viper is, if you have a good team who can play with their heart, that's the team that Viper will get you across the line with his experience, the technical capability, and so much input that he will give. For a team like Isipatana, he's a perfect coach, and that's a good pick by the Isipatana management to get him.
Trinity College will also be pleased with their performance last time around, but I would say they could have gone for that 4th bonus point try. They instead went for the 3 points, but that's how things worked out. Trinity College are very happy, but then Royal College, the highlight of the first week, simply outfitted that Malidev outfit. Malidev making their way onto the A division after a very long time. The first school from Kurunagal will make it to the A division after a very long time, but then Royal College simply were the better team.
Yeah, look, condition and fantastic, isn't it, that Royal outfit? But again, they'll be tested with more teams coming up in the likes of St. Peter's. They have a tough group. Isipatana, all those teams will be testing later on in the league. The Blase Trophy took place a week before, and Kingswood came on top 17 points to 12 against Wesley College. So that was a tough win for Kingswood, but they have a fantastic, solid team as well.
What's exciting is, if you could recall a few years ago, the under 16 competition where we had the Sri Lanka Super Sevens, it was the same team that won that Super Sevens, and coincidentally, the team that won the under 16 championship 2 years ago is the team that St. Anthony's will be playing in the first 15 this time around. So a lot of prospects, a lot of champion winning players there who won that age group a few years ago, and let's see how they could make a difference. I mean, they've lost that first game, fine, leave it aside, and then they'll focus. There are 4 more games. They need 2 wins at least to make it to the Cup Championship. I think last 2 seasons they've not made the Cup Championship, and that's something that St. Anthony's will have to worry about.
Yeah, true. St. Anthony's is a lot better team than that. If you take Dinu Kamarasingha's team the year before and the team last year, Sabir's team is a talented bunch of boys there. You give them a good run during the training session, during pre-season. They're going to be a fantastic, solid team. They lack conditioning, but I'll tell you, this team has no short of talent as well.
Taking a quick look at the results of last week, key winners are Royal College, 10 tries, and Dulan Gunawardena playing at number 15. You remember him from last season. He had a very successful kicking record. He's not your stereotype fullback, but he does the job. He kicks he kicks and saves the Royal out of danger and brings those important 3 points, the 2 points and the points that matter, and that's exactly what's expected from a fullback.
Yeah, true. 10 out of 6 out of 10 conversions he had done last week. So those things, it's important to have a place kicker, isn't it? Not one, I would say to have at least 3 in your squad. That's the depth that you will need. You see that All Blacks who won the World Cup in 2011, it took 4 place kickers, and the 4th, Steve Beaver Donald came and put that kick through just by the post to win a World Cup. So that's how much it takes to win a league championship. It might be school kids here, but I'll tell you, Sri Lanka rugby is very competitive in terms of school.
So only Royal College getting the bonus points in the week 1. So that's something all teams in this Dialogue Rugby, the Singer Schools Rugby League, we look forward to. The Dialogue Rugby League just concluded. Candy Sports Club winning that one also. So we'll have a lot of action in the Dialogue. The Clifford Cup coming up as well next week. So a lot of action coming in the Dialogue Rugby League as well as Singer Schools Rugby League.
Yeah, true. Singer Schools League just started, and it's a pinnacle of, I think, the most followed tournament in Sri Lanka, schools tournament in Sri Lanka. I would even bet my money if it's a sport event after Sri Lanka Cricket, schools rugby has more followers. So it's just starting, and it's going to be a fantastic tournament for sure.
So there you go. That was the under 16 games. Interestingly, this time the schools association does not want to enter competition or rival between the junior sides. They opted to play these ones in a friendly format, and then towards June and July we'll be seeing the tournaments for the under 16s and under 18s and under 14s.
Yeah, true. So that continues later. That's where the depth is built, isn't it? So that's where good teams pick their players for the next year and then season them out.
St. Anthony's College very eager to get their first win in this Singer Schools Rugby League. We remember that game, last season. Trinity and St. Anthony's kicked things off in a celebratory fashion here at Nittawela, and then they lost that game in that final minute. If I could remember, Abhishka Sheikh scored that winning try, but that was a game that St. Anthony's could have won at any.
Yeah, that's why I said St. Anthony's always had a lot of talent. Their talent is not in question from the early 2000s. I remember the Swarna Tilaka brothers captaining here, had a strong team. The Reals had a good time. So from those days itself, Kushan, the win 3/4, who also went on to represent Kandy, Chaturangas. It was always a team that a lot of talent comes out from St. Anthony's. Of course, coach Ronnie Ibrahim on your screen a little bit before. There you go. He's the head coach for St. Anthony's, trying to turn around things. Not the season opener that he would have liked, but he has a lot of talent to work with.
Ronnie Ibrahim, one of the most experienced coaches in this schools rugby arena and in the Sri Lanka rugby arena, took that CHNFC side to a 3rd place finish in this Dialogue Rugby League as well. But St. Joseph's have been a revelation, from where they were a few years ago to where they are. They become a heavyweight in this Singer Schools Rugby League, competing head to head with the heavyweights. I think St. Joseph's have come a remarkable journey from the 2017 season.
Yeah, correct. Agree absolutely. And one man behind that has been Nilufer Ibrahim. He a brother of Ronnie, who has turned this table around. He was at Trinity, went to Isipatana, won leagues there at Trinity, won the knockout championship. He has been a successful coach, isn't it? Just looking at his opposition at the moment, what his brother Ronnie is doing on the other side, and also his backs trying to formalize things. Valpola has been a very strong part of this coaching staff of Nilufer. So it's always how they have molded, how they have St. Joseph's blooded in a lot of players to get that culture going, and now you can see a strong St. Joseph's team that has been come out, and that rugby culture is very strong in college, and if you get that right, you'll produce players, you'll get a lot of players coming into the system, and that's where the talent becomes, and that's where you win championships.
I was talking about culture. I was talking to Tariq Saleh, the captain of 2015, and he came up with this very important thing. I think in 2015 it was that year that St. Joseph's brought in that rugby culture, where people started aggressively supporting that Josephian team, and that's when things turn around. And then come 2 years forward, they are the Milo Knockout Trophy champions.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I said. So it won't give you immediate results if you build a culture in school, and likewise if you lose a culture, it's very hard to get back. So it'll take a lot of time for you to build that depth, that players liking to take on the sport of rugby. So it'll take a lot of time to rebuild, but I think Josephs have done that correct. Kudos to their management. They have done a fantastic job in bringing that culture together, and it's hard to stop from here on.
Last year was the pinnacle of Josephian success. In that sense, we'll take a look at what happened when St. Joseph's played St. Anthony's last season in 2018. St. Joseph's all on top. I think Gamlu Chetia combining in that wing and utility positions, I think was a clear side. But then Mohammad Makarim, look at that player, look at that number 12 wearing that jersey for St. Anthony's. He's the captain this time. He came up with that opening break, but then St. Anthony's could not sustain it. Gamlu Chetia, top try scorer of the Nittawela Schools Rugby League last season.
Keshan Kavinda, Gamlu Chetia, that was a star-studded team, isn't it? Just going down to Royal College in that clash at the champions at the same venue. But St. Joseph's, I think, had a fantastic season. Rashan Gunawardena, he's going to be a key boy this season because he has so much experience in him coming to this season. And like you said, this St. Anthony's team is a very experienced team. You will look at the team card, but if you take players like Suhail Wazim, they have been in the system for some time. Mohammad Makarim, Amara Singers, it's a very good team, this St. Anthony's team. It's just that the execution is the problem that they're struggling with.
If you take a look at your screens, at halftime the deficit was just 7 points, but then in the second half, that was the time when they let loose and they gave Gamlu Chetia the free hand. And when you give Gamlu Chetia space, I think he will always make sure he converts it to points, and that's exactly what he did. St. Joseph's piled 50 points, I would say 50 points in that game, and that's how they finished that one. So a lot of expectations on St. Anthony's, and it will be important how they manage that second half of play. That's where they lose the games that they win, and that's exactly what Coach Ronnie Ibrahim would have thought about and must be putting extra emphasis in this game when they come to play St. Joseph's. But talking about Rashan Gunawardena, playing his third year, we saw him come out in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, came in as a substitute scrum half and then consolidated his position at number 9. And now he's set to play a very leadership role in this St. Joseph side.
Yeah, very important, the link man, isn't it? So he has to be in good headspace, needs to control the game well. Very happy to see him in that leadership position because he has that skill to do that, Rashan Gunawardena. But on the other hand, St. Joseph's need to click as a team. Santosh Algama at 10 has to have his A game on, because today it's going to be St. Anthony's who will bring their A game today. It gives me a feeling because their cricket team is doing very well. They would have just walked that pass through that and seen the score 190 or 200 for 3 when they would have come here, and they would have said, okay, this is our day and let's do what we can to get St. Anthony's home.
All things are going in favor of the Eagles, the Anthonian Eagles at Cartagena. So that live pitches from the Anthonian Trinity Clash also on your number 1 sports hub. So expectations mounting on the Josephians. They've come here for the first time in the Schools Rugby League. We remember when they came here in the second week to play Trinity last season, and then they came out with a win, 32 points to 29. That's how that game ended. Keshan Kavinda and Gamlu Chetia combining to bring home a very remarkable win at Pallegale.
Yeah, it was a close game, isn't it? So that's why I said these openers, when you travel to Kandy for the first time, when you play that curtain racer, even at home, there are butterflies in your stomach that you need to get rid of. So those games are very important, and how you control those games is going to be interesting.
So there you go, St. Joseph's lining up ahead of this week 2 clash in Nittawela. Taran Dialvis, he's been an anchor in that Josephian front line. He's marshaled that forward line for the last 2 years, and this time he has a huge responsibility in carrying the team's responsibility forward. He's been appointed captain for the Josephians, and then very much likely, we will watch out for this man wearing that number 13 jersey, Thalinu Maduranga. If you could recollect very correctly in the Royal game, he scored one of the fastest tries in the Schools Rugby League. Zanu Dilshan takes credit for the fastest try ever scored in the Schools Rugby League. He was the second fastest, 25 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, true. He has a lot of pace to burn, isn't it, Maduranga? So he'll be a handful today to watch. Anthony's need to cover that area in defence.
So there you go. That is the early predictor here from us at ThePapare.com. We'll take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have the team cards and kick off.
රෙඩි ඔලිවරපු යාල්පාණතිල
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. සිද්ධාස ඇඩ්මොරටුව පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය
කිලක්කු මාහල සුගතදාස ඉන්ඩෝර් ස්ටේඩියම්
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
කුරුණෑගල සිටි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
Papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නූරෙලිය ප්‍රදේශයට.
Final showdown Candy Sports Club
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට
රෙඩි ඔලිවරපු යාල්පාණතිල
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
සිද්ධාස ඇඩ්මොරටුව
පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය
කිලක්කු මාහල සුගතදාස ඉන්ඩෝර් ස්ටේඩියම්
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
කුරුණෑගල සිටි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
Papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නූරෙලිය ප්‍රදේශයට.
Final showdown Candy Sports Club
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට
රෙඩි ඔලිවරපු යාල්පාණතිල
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
සිද්ධාස ඇඩ්මොරටුව
පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය
කිලක්කු මාහල
Sugata Das Indoor Stadium
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
රුණෑගල සිරි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
Papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නූරෙලිය ප්‍රදේශයේ.
Final showdown, Candy Sports Club.
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට
The spring of madness is upon us. Gear up for the celebration of the pinnacle of schools cricket. Get ready for March Madness live on Dialogue Television, MyTV, and ThePapare.com.
Welcome back to live action. If you're joining in right now, this is the Singer Schools Rugby League 2019 brought to you exclusively on the number one sports sub, ThePapare.com, and we are awaiting kickoff in this St. Joseph's St. Anthony's clash. There you go, the match referees for the day. Ishankar Bekon should be the match referee for this game. But before that, we'll take a quick look at the team cards. St. Anthony's College, kind of a very new outfit in the front row. Firstly, Ambrose, Sashika Vijayawardene and Dhanujay Senuratne, new combination in the tight five. Then Matisha Amarasinghe played for Kandy combined schools as well. Bhavanta Dharmapala and Ruwan Amarasinghe and Isuru Aryapala and Prabhash Gamarachi. Three experienced players in that tight loose forward combination, and then comes Suhail Wasim, an important cog in that Anthonian wheel, and then Bhavan Nishant at fly half, Kirusheka Nayaka, Mohammad Makarim the captain, Madhav Fernando, Nihan Pereira and Kavishka Jayasuriya will be the fullback. Taking a look at the replacements, Sachit Puri, Sakiri Sabandhu, Ushan Sachinta, Vimukti Fernando, Selvaraj Roshan, Umesh Veerasinghe, Avishka Kurukuru Surya and Sachin Takalanka. Next we have the visiting team, the Josephians. Tirak Santush Gershom Changaya and Pavin Divishan experience. Santush and Tangaya combining at 1 and 2, and then Chega Javadana and Shehan Eran the Kalania Goda, another experience second row combination for the Josephians. Reshmika Sandun, Nihan Pereira combining with the captain Tarin the Alvis will be expected to play a very important role in this game, and then Rashin Gunawardana, the experienced third year player alongside Santosh Algama the fly half, then Sudhakar Devappiya and Imesh Tisanai, the hero of St. Joseph's from that sevens encounter, then Tarin Maduranga at 13, Johan Anjana and Aaron Pereira at fullback. Look at the replacements: Manish Sanaratna, Sivan Gregory, Vidusha Imesh, Nitesh Claudio, Shanila Besekara, Yannick Muller, Ruchira Ekanayaka and Ashan Fernando. Taking a look at these two team cards, I think St. Joseph's are experienced backed outfit.
Yeah, they are. They look very solid backline there. Forwards also equally matched with the skipper in front at 8. So it's going to be interesting how they play this game because it's going to be a balance between a forward and balance backs game. That's how they normally play. They hit a couple inside and then push it out wide. Again, use their forwards to gain some meters. Again, push it wide. So that's how they normally use their pattern. Anthony's will have to defend well if they have to hold up. And Anthony's
Robert Mukadim wearing that number 12 jersey. He'll be expected to do a very huge role at inside centre. But interestingly, taking a look at the Josephian team card, you could see Siobhan Gregory has been named the replacements. Gregory brings in a lot of experience. He's played for Sri Lanka under 19 as well last year. And then it brings back to see how Stefan Gregory is being used for Navy as well. He comes in that second half and makes a big difference for Navy.
I think it's a calculated move in Sharp. The reason is they need someone who has to be carrying the ball throughout that 70-minute period. And when you have someone like Gregory coming in that second half, it's going to be a lot of experience, and also it's going to give that X factor in the end.
Both teams lined up for the school anthems as well. St. Joseph's College. Formalities of the two school anthems. St. Anthony's College out here with the Purpose playing their first game at home. They look interestingly. I like to quote a small phrase from the Anthonian College anthem. Matches may be won or lost, never mind defeat, but today things look very different. Anthonians are coming for the win. They've dominated Trinity College in that 100 and the Trinity the 102nd big match, and then they're out here with the Purpose to dominate the Josephians.
Yeah, true. I think a couple of these boys have made a walk across the paddy fields here to get to Nittawela to watch the rugby team in action. Of course, their cricket skipper Tiksha He's also the fly half of Anthony, so they'll be missing him as Makarim introduces his team.
Teacher Gunasinger, important player in that second round. Expect Gunasinger to make his comeback in the Anthonian colours. Interestingly, we've seen a lot of players who play cricket also play rugby. A few examples I would take is Kavindra Pereira for Wesley, the Wesley wing three-quarter. He's also the opening batsman for Wesley College in the first 11 side, and then Tevin Iyagama, St. Thomas's College, is key in that team in cricket as well as in rugby.
Yes, true. Most of the boys now take on two sports because that's what the school demands.
But then I think it has been a bit tough for the players now with us having both seasons running concurrently. We have the Schools Rugby League and the Schools Cricket season kicking off in the same time frame. Let's take a look at your match referees as well for the day. Shankar Bekon will be the man in charge alongside Sarat Madhugal and Ravin Alexander. I think Abekon had a very good game against when I think Shankar Bekon clearly had a very good game when he was in charge in that St. Thomas St. Peter's game. He led the game flow, allowed the players the free will, and then only penalised that when it was necessary.
Yeah, I was very impressed with him. He made calls, but all were practical calls. He was not doing according to the rule book. He saw what was in front of him, and if there was not enough, if we played good advantage, managed the breakdown very well, and he's a very good referee. This guy on your screen, Shankar Bekon, up and coming.
Blue captain, ready.
Roshan Gunawardena to kick things off in the second week of the Singer Schools Rugby League. Long range kick. Replied instantly. That time goes to the hands of Taranudi Alvis. Now Aaron Pereira. Good ball to Shehan Iranda. There is no arriving halfback, so the prop forward picks and goes.
Now release now. Play on.
Ball comes out to Algama. Algama looks to chip it, and in the process of doing so, he sends the ball into touch. I think good intentions from Algama early on. He saw space, and then we've seen how Sudhar Devapriya has that pace to go that extra mile, and that's exactly what Algama wants to give his winger.
Yeah, and also very decent by St. Anthony's, kicking it back to St. Joseph's. There you go, because it's big match, it's raining, it's drizzling here in Nittawela. It's very often that you see, it's not a sight that you will be surprised of. If the big match happens, it normally rains. Here is St. Anthony's now.
Good correction there by Suhail. Wasim had to do a bit of catching to secure that ball. Now Wasim wants a quick ball out to the left. Good correction from Mohammad Makarim. Switching directions, giving his forwards. Amar Singh shrugs off, one player goes down. Good defense from the Josephians. Out to the senior Amar Singh this time. Shoaib Wasim recycling the ball very well for the Anthonians. He knows he wants to play this game at a very high pace. Now Kavish Kajayature breaking on the corner flag.
Yeah, if you see the skill of that player who went into contact, Inshaf on contact, he just changed hands at the ball. That was the fullback for St. Anthony's.
Penalised that time St. Joseph, so opportunity opening up for St. Anthony's. Biruk, interesting line out, interesting penalty. So ideally, if there was a place seeker who could go for touch, I'll go for points. That would be the obvious call. But then with no place seeker and that penalty goes to waste, Kavish Kajayature does not get that right.
Yeah, true. Anthony's would love to produce Samuel Madhuvantas year in year out, but to take kicks like that.
Russian Gunawardena call the mark that time. Will send the ball to Santosh Algama. And Algama makes no mistake with the clearance. I think the 3 points that come your way in the first few minutes of the game is very important, and that's where Havelock Sports Club lost that league title last week, and it will be very important and a very good message to all the schools rugby teams as well.
Yeah, true. If it's on offer and if it's in kickable range, you should have to take according to the situation.
Now Wasim goes once again. Wonderful collection there. Thumping hit by Tarindu. The Alvis number 8 or number 8 that time. Vasil once again trying to speed up proceedings. Changing directions once again. Now Makarim giving space out to the wing 3-quarter. Has one player to beat. Does not get through, but I like the way how St. Anthony's have wanted to play this game. I think this is the game that we've seen how St. Joseph's used to play last season. They want to get their ball out to their speedsters on 11 and 14, and that's exactly what Shuhail Wasim wants to do. And I think the number 10, Bhavan Nishant, playing his first schools rugby season, is doing extremely well to recycle the ball. And this time Gunawardena under a little bit of pressure from Amara Singh, but that ball will go right into the hands of Nihan Pereira. Pereira goes into contact. Vasil once again out to his big pop forward, and now Amara Singh has been taken down.
Okay, play on. Safe.
And looks like the turnover very well done there by the flankers, and Russian Gunawardena seeing space kicks the ball. There is no sweeper, but the Anthonian player is right there. Madhu Fernando takes his team out of danger, and Kavishka Jayasuriya cannot kick this one out on the full. And Santosh Algama will not want to take any risks early on, and will do the right thing, kick it out into touch.
Yeah, good option there by Santosh Inshaf. And like you said, St. Anthony's winger there has a lot of speed to burn on the outside. However, he could have cut back in, had support at the number 8 coming running in, could have cut back in, but good signs soon by St. Anthony's and St. Joseph. Is going to be an interesting game of rugby for sure.
The Anthonians controlling a majority of position this time. Turnover ball this time for the Josephians. Good collection there by the Josephian prop forward, and Russian Gunawardena looks for his clearance kick. Algama knows that he cannot kick this one out on the full, collected by Wasim. Now to Jayasuriya. Jayasuriya has options, goes straight in. Wonderful offload. Nihan Pereira just in front of that, and now it's a turnover. Good counter attack from St. Joseph's, and a good piece of defense by the Anthonians. Saw the space, picked their man, and Sudarak Devapriya that time was not given any space.
Yeah, true. That offload off the tackle was good, but it was just a bit unwanted at that moment for St. Anthony's College. But they look solid. Their counter attack looks good. The scrum half is dropping back so that he can combine with the back three to counter attack and put pressure. St. Joseph's on the other side playing very patiently. Wants to make their faces sound right. This is a great opportunity for them.
Crouch.
Plenty of experience in that scrum for St. Joseph's.
Steady boys. Steady.
Players who have been playing for the last 2-3 seasons.
Say, go back.
Tarendra Alvis breaking, sends the ball to Russian Gunawardena. A lovely pass out to his inside centre.
No hands.
Once again, here comes Algama. Out to Madhuranga. Madhuranga doesn't wait for anyone and sends the ball out to his wing 3-quarter. Still going St. Joseph's. Now the forwards take control. Gershom Tangaya that time with the carry. Tangaya once again breaks off one, goes to ground. Quick ball out from Russian, and the ball is spilled, and the referee will bring back play. I think I like how St. Joseph's are also replying that fast running outfit of St. Anthony's. They're doing the same, and then they're missing out on the simple things. I think that should be corrected in towards the latter part of the game.
Yeah, true. And also, if you see the Anthonian defense in Shaf, tackles missing, the one-on-one tackles are being missed. That's where they need to control this Josephian side. If they go, if they miss tackles like this, it'll be costly mistakes for them.
Right, boys.
First scrum in favor of St. Anthony's for the day. I think this game, if this continues at this pace, Dinuk, we are going to see an exciting 70 minutes of rugby.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Steady. Steady, boys. Very good, very good. Number 9. Say. No.
Wasim this time puts the ball to Kavish Jayasuri. It has been chased down, but St. Anthony's does well to hold on to the ball. And it's a turnover. Very well done that time. Tarindu Maduranga.
Go back.
Quick ball for St. Joseph's. Gunawardana switches to the short side. Needs support. Support comes in the form of Tarindu Alvis. Now Cheka Jayawardana goes into contact.
Say last foot.
Nehan Pereira tries to sidestep one Anthonian player. Still going St. Anthony's. In fact, St. Joseph's.
Tackle release now.
Aaron Pereira comes in support for the Josephians. Thirata Santosh that time. Very unlucky, but referee says offside.
Oh, so Roshan Gunawardana took the quick tap and knocked it on. That was 3 points for taking in Shaf.
It took me a while to absorb this. Look, I saw Tarindu always pointing at the post, saying let's go for 3 points, but then what was Roshan Gunawardana thinking? So early opportunity lost for the Josephians.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Steady, boys. Say.
Suhail once again goes to Jayasuriya. Jayasuriya this time will have to make no error with the clearance, but just the same error once again. The ball bounces, and not the best of clearances from Jayasuriya. Kavish Jayasuriya, but experienced campaigner, should have known better, should have read the conditions, and St. Anthony's have a lot more defending to do.
Yeah, true, and also that kick which hit side of the boot. The wing three-quarter had a chase, but he didn't want to put the name on the ball. He waited till it bounced. Had he bounced into hand, it would have been curtains for St. Anthony's. Looks like a rolling maul coming up for St. Joseph's, according to the structure.
Gersham Tangaya will need to get this line out right. First off, good correction there by Cheka Jayawardana. As you said, the rolling maul has been formed. Good defense from the Anthonians. Doing well.
Go back.
Still going are the Josephians.
Advantage.
Ball is with Tangaya. Now the ball comes out to Roshan Gunawardana. Breaking through is Santosh Algama, and that looks like another penalty coming in favor of the Josephians. This time taken very correctly by Tarindu Maduranga. And that's not 10 meters.
Go back. Stay ball down.
So second penalty conceded by the Anthonians, and looks like Ishanka wants to have a small word with the skipper.
Red zone. Right? Next time, yellow card. Go come inside. On the line.
Is
Time
the
on.
call, so St. Joseph's once again going for the touch. Because they got that maul right, I think it's a good call to go with the momentum.
Center. Clean gap.
Santosh Algama making the right choices this time. Tangaya once again has an important line out.
Okay, play on.
Goes to Cheka Jayawardana this time. The maul is intact. Has Joseph's Passed it down. Yes, they have, and that's the first try. Nehan Pereira, number 6, scoring that one for St. Joseph's, and St. Joseph's draw first blood in the 12th minute. Once again, crumbling defenses from the Anthonians. They saw, the Josephians saw that the defenses were not right, and then they took right advantage.
It's raining here in Kandy. The drizzle, there is a lot of cloud cover. But that rolling maul was fantastic. Good structure, good setup. A corner flag for Santosh Algama early on in the game. Strikes nicely. Has the direction. What a kick by Santosh Algama. He will gain a lot of confidence out of that. Pierce the post.
All that effort from the Anthonians in that first few minutes goes in vain when they concede unnecessary penalties. I think though that penalty made a big difference in the game. Then those 3 penalties that St. Anthony's gave St. Joseph's, I would say, changed the game in that first 12 minutes.
The rain will be a blessing in disguise for St. Joseph's College, because the forwards look sound, but ball control will be interesting how these two teams will control ball from here on.
Nishant with the restart this time goes very deep to Aaron Pereira. Pereira puts the ball to Santosh Algama, and what a clearance kick from Algama. I think that's what he's been instructed to do. Do not take the risks, always clear your team out of danger.
Five numbers. Number 10. They ball ke starting mein pass. They ball ke line out.
Sashika Vijayawardene, the hooker for St. Anthony's, makes a mess of it, but collects the ball. That ball drifts out of their full fly half. Bhavan. Nihan Pereira does very well to keep the ball alive. Now Vasil wants to give the ball out to Gamara, the number 8. The big number 8 has been taken down by 2 Josephian players. And here comes their big prop forward. Now out to Bhavan. Bhavan finds his second row. Bhavan to Dharmapala. Good defense from the Josephians. Mohammad Makarim given no space by his counterpart Tarim Dialves, and looks like Mohammad Makarim is down, and that was a high tackle, and referee will bring back play for the penalty.
It was a player who poked his hand into a ruck. Referee sounded clearly to take his hands off, but he slowed the ball down by doing that, and that's why the penalty was given.
Kagasi Jayasuriya has not had the best of and this time he makes some good yards on that clearance kick, so opportunity opening up for the Anthonians after a long passage of play.
Yeah, good 25-meter kick. They need to get the line out right, Inshaf. They've been a bit messy.
Say, go back 10 meters, 10 meters.
Danuja Seniratna has been entrusted with the line-out duties. Not the best of line-outs for the Anthonians, but they wouldn't mind.
Go back.
That time Isuru Arepala keeping the ball alive for the Anthonians. Ball comes out to the speedster Tirusha Ekanayaka.
Sir, release now. No, clear.
Ekanayaka does well to hold on. Vashil. Back to his forwards.
That was fantastic.
I need clear release. Tackle clear release.
That was the Shehan Elanda Kalaniagoda winning that ball for the Josephians. I think that's the level that you're expected as a flanker, Dinuk. When you're playing, you're expected to do those things that will bring back the confidence for the Josephian side as well. And Santosh Algama's kick finds some neat meters, so St. Joseph's will be receiving play just near that 22.
Yeah, right on top of that ball was Kalaniagoda. His brother played for Trinity. The 13, Dilshan Kalaniagoda. It looks a solid back row. Shehan.
Tangaya opts for the short line out. Cheka Javadan has done very well in the line out. This time Nihan Pereira goes to ground. Now to Pereira once again. Space opening up on the outside. Still alive for the Josephians. St. Joseph's still going. Algama
Advantage.
out to inches, meters close to that try line. Is St. Joseph looking for their second try. Madhuranga makes a mess of that ball, but referee will bring that play for the initial infringement.
Number 10.
He got a warning, the Anthony's number 10 for Nishant Bhavan for coming up offside. Was told before Ishanka Bekon. There's very good refereeing in Shaf. He gave that warning to him. There you go. Again he goes and talks to the player. He saw him first time up and then he told him, when it's not your ball, just stay on the defensive line. Bhavan came up once again and considered a penalty.
Taran Dialvis directly pointed to the post. I think that's from that confidence that Santosh Algama had from kicking that long range conversion. I think this should be easy going for Algama.
Yes, and it's perfect running conditions except for that greasy ball that you'll get because it's a slight drizzle. The conditions fantastic for rugby here at Nittawela. As Algama slots this in between the posts once again. And there you go.
10 points clear St. Joseph's College. So St. Anthony's after that few minutes, opening minutes of action, I think they've dominated. They've not had the best game so far. They've missed those tackles, they've missed their lines in defense, and that's clearly costing them 10 points.
Yes, missing tackles, giving away penalties has been the problems for St. Anthony's.
Ball goes to Sudaraka Devapre that time.
Okay.
Santosh Algama access come off this time. Rashan Gunawardhan, short ball to Kersham Tangaya. Advantage in favor of St. Joseph's, and this is exactly what we were talking about. Unnecessary person given away, and a referee will bring back play. I think St. Anthony's will need to cut those unnecessary penalties, and that's costing them the game. And this is not looking good for St. Anthony's.
Yeah, once again penalties not rolling away.
Number 7.
I think Ishanka Bekun is very clear on his instructions, and then whenever it doesn't go right, I think there is no other option.
And very kind too in Shafi, after the infringement explains what it is so that the players know what it is. I think that's the communication that you need from the referee. He had a fantastic game in that St. Thomas's versus Peters last week, and he's no shot here. He's brought in a lot of stability.
This time Algama's kick does not find touch, goes to the hands of Isuru Arepala, and Kavishka Jayasuriya puts a high hanging kick, and that ball is spilled forward. So once again St. Anthony's College, the decision making from the Antonians is questionable. They look at this point. Kavishka Jayasuriya had ample space. He had a man to his left as well. Could have made a few meters before he opted to kick that ball.
Or kick to corners. Why should you put the up and under? It's not that bad, these conditions, to put up and under. Kick to corners because the Josephian line is very narrow in defense. So there is ample space on the far side if they can kick to corners and chase.
Point. Set. Steady. Steady.
Russian Gunawardena with the feed.
No.
Now Algama out to Imesh Tisanaka, and space open. A lovely offload. But once again, this time St. Joseph's College spilled the ball. So things still not working very well for the Josephians as well. They're recovering from that game. They would have not liked to see that replay of that game as well from last week. But then these things like this are not helping the Josephians as well. It's early in the season, Dinuk, so far. We have another 3 more weeks of first round action. So come second round, that will be the place where the game is, the league is won and lost. But league points in this first round is very important.
Yeah, true. Especially if you get these set moves right, that's where you can pile a lot of points on in terms of attack. So they need to get that right, Insha.
Set. Steady. Steady, boys. Very good. Stay, number 9. Stay.
Gamarachi to Vasil, and back to Vasil by the fly half. Kick forward. There is a chaser from the Josephian, but it looks like that is an infringement, intentionally knocking the ball out. St. Anthony's get another lifeline just before the halftime. So we have 10 more minutes to go on our clock until the halftime break. If St. Anthony's could bring up a score before halftime, then that means that the second half is going to be a very competitive encounter.
Yeah, true. They need to get this a score in the next 10 minutes. And this is a perfect opportunity for them inside the Josephian half to attack.
Seniratna with the line out, goes to Amarasinghe once again. Not the best of collections, but thrown out straight, says the referee. So like you said, another opportunity goes by. It could have been a perfect opportunity for the Anthonians, but the conditions are also not helping. We're seeing a bit of wind as well with the rain, and that's not helping the lineouts as well.
The rain is getting heavier. And when I came to Kandy a couple of days before, they said there is no rain at all. Now I know why it's raining, because the big match is happening on the other side.
They say there's a saying that goes to the big matches that there is, if there's a big match, there will be definitely a downpour at any point, and that's exactly why many of the schools have stressed for that 3-day option. But meanwhile, Vasil has the ball out to Bhavan, and Bhavan once again. This is not acceptable from Nishant Bhavan. I think playing his first season as standoff for the Anthonians. You can see how devastated he is, but these kind of errors cannot be accepted.
Yeah, true. That was a well hooked by St. Anthony's. It was a Josephian ball, mind you, that ball, and the hooker reversed it to the Antonian side.
See, when things like that happen, it puts down the spirit of the forwards as well. They win the ball, I think, and then you are expected, the back line is expected to hold on to that and try to work things out. So Russian Gunawardena will now have the feed. This time he'll make sure that he doesn't out-hook it, and once again it was not legally done, so St. Joseph's win themselves a free kick. So things not going right for the Anthonians. They're trying desperately to see what they could do with the ball. And St. Joseph's are opting to go for a scrum once again. A quick reminder on all the action, Dinuk. We're going to have an action-packed weekend here in Kandy. Tomorrow will be the Kingswood College St. Peter's clash. The Peter Wrights will travel to Kandy to play Kingswood College at this very same venue. And then on Sunday, Trinity College will be playing Isipatana. So a lot of action, so stay tuned to your number one sports hub, ThePapare.com. And on Monday will be the Michael Gunratna clash for the Royal Thomond. That will be coming to you at 3:40 p.m. on a number one sports hub from the St. Thomas's grounds in Mount Lavinia. Heavy downpour, I think nobody saw this coming. It was very warm, bright and sunny, and in a matter of few minutes the conditions have changed, and Isurware Pala wins the ball for the Antonians. And clearly unnecessary that time once again from St. Anthony's, and opportunity opening up for the Josephians in the far corner, but Kavish Jasur is right there underneath that ball.
No hand. Stay rock. Stay.
Slowing things down, St. Anthony's. Mohammad Makarim from the base of that breakdown doesn't find too many meters with that kick. I think now the Josephians are using the right option with the change of conditions. They're trying to give the forwards more space, Dinuk, and that's exactly like you said. It's going to, let's see how it will work for St. Joseph's. Now Algama to Maduranga. Maduranga fends off. One player goes to ground. Momentum still with the Josephians. Tiraka Santush. I beg your pardon, that was Gershom Tangaya. Changes directions, St. Joseph's. Space opening on the far side for St. Joseph's, but taken down by St. Anthony's. Still going St. Joseph's. Shehan around that time pushed back by Amar Singer.
Yes, number 9. Go back. Okay. Now use it.
Tarun Dialis with the pick and go. St. Joseph's looking to build faces with this move.
Now use it.
Once again. Now Gunawardena opens space for the Lions. Santush Algama tries to creep through the middle. Referee has advantage played in favor of the Josephians.
That was a high shot, a seatbelt tackle from the number 4 of St. Anthony's.
Still going St. Joseph's. Tangaya breaks through, makes a few meters. He's isolated, but support comes in the form of Gunawardena.
No, release now. Go, last one.
Sudhara Deva acting as halfback. Inches close to the try line.
Advantage.
Crumbling defense, and has St. Joseph's got it? Yes, they have. In fact, that ball was not playable, so taken quickly that time, St. Joseph, and now they have the try. Number 21, in fact, that is Russian Gunawardena, the player of the match from last week.
Number 5.
Yeah, if you see how they adapted. If you see how the Josephians adapted after that rain, that ball only touched the backs once. All those 40 meters gained was through the forwards, and then pick and drives, small pots created here and there, drive them through. Then Russian Gunawardena saw that defensive line was caught napping. They were still organizing themselves, saw the move, tapped and ran through. So that's very good from St. Joseph's in terms of how they adapt to the conditions, whereas St. Anthony's keep on missing tackles and giving away penalties on rucks and offsides.
That's where experience comes into play as Santosh Algama adds the 2 points. So St. Joseph's College make a very strong statement in this first half. $100 minutes of schools rugby played so far for St. Anthony's, and they are yet to score a try in the schools rugby league.
That's an interesting stat in Shaf. It's almost about 100 minutes of rugby played so far by St. Anthony's, but they have still not able to score. It's a good team, this team. They have a lot of attacking strikes, but not managing to cross over you. When you have a player like Suel Wasir, who is a good scrum half, yes, there is inexperience at number 10. When Tiksha comes up, that will be okay.
Haven't seen too much from Mohammad Makarim, and once again errors like this are clearly not helping the Anthonians. Haven't seen too much from the skipper Mohammad Makarim. We saw him how explosive he was in the last year's encounter, scored that opening try as well. But Makarim will need to step up and hit the gas, and the players will need to play around him, and hoping that Suel Wasim distributes the ball very well around those players.
True. He needs to give confidence to his number 10, because he is sandwiched in between two quality players in Suel Wasim and Makarim. So the Bhavan has to gain confidence, and on the other hand, Suel Wasil need to take the right options. He need to create the forwards on the other side. On warm-up they were doing it perfectly, but game time is where they're lacking.
Pressure mounting on the Anthonians as Rushing Gunawardena feeds yet another scrum. This time goes to the right of the field. Santosh Algama is right there in support. Fair breaks off one player, and Mohammad Makarim is right there. Now Algama changes direction out to his prop forwards. Algama once again. Lovely bit of play from Taranidi Alves step time, and lovely bit of collection from Madhuranga, keeping the ball alive for the Josephians. See the change in play, Dinuk, when the rainy conditions were there. The Josephians wanted to play with the forwards, but with the rain ceased now, they're trying their luck with the back line. And now Pereira sends the ball out. Sudhara Revapriya almost spilled that ball, but St. Joseph's slowly entering the 22. Algama out to Shehan Eranda. Eranda is foxed by two Anthonian players. Long pass to Madhuranga. Madhuranga gives it out to the number 15, Johan Anjana. Still going St. Joseph's. Now the forwards come loose. Taranidi Alvis makes the first exchange. Still going St. Joseph's College.
Now use it.
Nehan Pereira that time with the carry, and looks like there was a slight knock on by Rushing Gunawardena, and all that effort from that 50 meter goes to waste, and that should be half time.
Yeah, good pattern shown there by St. Joseph's College. Unfortunately, in that last bit, Rushing Gunawardena made a small knock on, and Abe Cohen was right there, referee, to spot that. So the half ends at 17 points to nil in favor of St. Joseph's College.
I think Gunawardena should not be taking anything away from that game. I think the way he handled that game, the way he changed the game around, I think he should be taking credit for the first half, along with Santosh Algama. Algama knew exactly what to do at the right time.
Yeah, true, and his kicking has come good as well. His field kick, place kicking, both came to good effect in the first half, and he's controlling the game.
Exactly, so to play for in the second half. We'll take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have a lot more action in the Singer Schools Rugby League encounter between St Anthony's and St Joseph's.
To be a man is to sweat for every last inch of it. The harder you push yourself, the louder your body will protest. From sweat to grease, grease to dandruff. Fight back with Clear Men, 2 times the fighting power of ordinary shampoos. Beat grease, beat dandruff. Unbeatable performance for the unbeatable man. Power through the odds. Clear, zero dandruff, nothing to hide.
Discover fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination.
Then Gold Dio Body Spray. හඳුන්වාදන අලුත් මාළුත් මාදිලි 4කින්. Blaze, Challenge, Storm සහ Rave. අදම try කරන්න. Gold Dio Body Spray. පැය 24 පුරා.
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ. පදම පරක්කු ඇයි?
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් පුබුදා.
හොඳම මැලිබන්තේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා. මැලිබන්තේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා.
මැලිබන්තේ පදමට කහට. ශ්‍රී ලාංකික සැමගේ තේරීම No Limit.
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ. පදම පරක්කු ඇයි?
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් පුබුදා.
හොඳම මැලිබන්තේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා. මැලිබන්තේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා.
මැලිබන්තේ පදමට කහට.
I have news. Let's meet.
දැන් යහ පෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. මැලිබන් යහපෝෂ රස එකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
Find yourself in love. Fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination.
When she's special, she's not just a girlfriend. She is your sweetheart. When you feel it, you don't just call it sunshine, you call it warmth. When you reveal your deepest emotions, it's not just art, it's freedom. And when its essence is premium cocoa butter, it's not just chocolate, it's Ravello. Chocolate so special, you call it Ravello.
සතුට බෙදන නම ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම සනසුම දෙන නම එය සිංහ නම මිහිර මවන නම පවස නිවන නම සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම
ඔබට සතුට සදන සිංගර් අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
Then Gold Dio Body Spray. හඳුන්වා දෙන අලුත් මාදිලි හතරකින් Blaze, Challenge, Storm සහ Rave. අදම try කරන්න Gold Dio Body Spray. පැය 24 පුරා.
Echo the voices of fun. Fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination.
සුවිසලි ලක්ක වෙනුවෙන් සෑමංගලක් දක්වාම දහඩිය හෙලීම සැබෑ පිරිමියෙකුගේ ගතියක්. ඔබේ උත්සාහය තියුණු වෙන තරමට ඔබේ ශරීරයේ උත්සාහයට අභියෝග කරයි. මුලින් දහඩිය, ඉන්පසු ග්‍රීස්, අන්තිමට ඉස්හොරි. ක්ලියර්මෙන් සමගින් නැගිටින්න කාලයයි මේ. සාමාන්‍ය ෂැම්පූ වලට වඩා දෙගුණයක් ක්‍රියාකාරී ක්ලියර්මෙන් ඔබත් සමග ඉස්හොරි වලට එරෙහිව සටන් වදී. ඔබේ ජයග්‍රහණයට පෙරමං සදන අසමසම ඉලක්ක වෙත යන සැබෑ පිරිමින් වෙනුවෙන්ම සුවිශේෂී ක්ලියර්මෙන් ලොබාංගේගේ මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ.
ශ්‍රී ලාංකික සැමගේ තේරීම No Limit.
අපේ අම්මා change වෙලා වෙලා උඩේකට change වෙලා යායකට change වෙලා අපේ අම්මා change වෙලා
දැන් යහපෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. බැලිබන් යහපෝෂ රසයකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
Welcome back to live action. You're logged on Sri Lanka's #1 sports sub, ThePapare.com. If you're joining in just now, the St. Joseph's St. Anthony's clash, and St. Joseph's College have taken the upper hand in the first half. Let's see if St. Anthony's could muster some spirit from the second half. I think St. Anthony's, the cricket team, have declared at 298, if I'm not wrong, Dinu.
Yeah, 298 for 8. That's how it has finished. They just hammered the Trinity bowlers down. So it's going to be interesting how tomorrow's day will progress. Not that far away, but I was told it's not raining at the college grounds.
Interesting. Diluk,
it happens normally. I've come down plenty of times from Asgiria, soaked in rain, and in Katugastata nothing happens.
This time turned over in the line out. I think St. Anthony's have failed in that line out quite a bit, Dinuk, and that's also another factor that coach Ibrahim will want to look at. But meanwhile, the Anthonians have won back the ball. Now Makarim acting as half-back sends the ball to his forwards. Lovely piece of work from Amar Singer. But yet again, I think this penalty count is something that you would want to, I think the coaching staff will want to look at. It's not healthy for St. Anthony's, this penalty count.
Yeah, not enough players committing into that ruck. In Shaf, clean outs need to be coming up fast. And the players are getting isolated, the ball carriers. That's where they're losing all these giving away penalties and slow to move off that ruck out.
Exactly. So watch out for these statistics on our straight up segment. Comes to you on your #1 sports up on Wednesday. That's by Boatu all the way from New Zealand, bringing you exciting statistics and numbers from the Schools Rugby League this year. Tangaya does well with the line out. Russian Gunawardana makes no things at no choice, but the conditions are clearly seen as St. Joseph's almost fumbled that ball. Now Gunawardana. Cheka Javadana doing well. Quick ball to Shehan Kalaniagoda making a few meters for the Josefians. Algama to Maduranga. Maduranga has the one player to the left, tries to break off one, but there is no going past Sasika Vijayavardhana.
Reload.
Slowing things down Gunawardhana that time. Now the captain Alvis. Shane ran the
Now release.
doesn't make too much from that option. Santosh Algama made a miss of that kick, but does really well to clean up his error. Now shifting to the shorter side, Madhuranga 2-on-1, and is that the try? Yes, it is. Thalinu Madhuranga.
That was beautiful rugby in forwards hit hard, gain ground. And soon as they saw the Anthony's defense narrowing, and there was plenty of space on the outside to burn down on that left far flank to score that try.
In fact,
that was fantastic.
That was Sudhara Deva player with the score. Thalinu Madhuranga was the player who took on the forwards, found the space and sent the ball out. So good work from the young man Madhuranga.
Yeah, Shehan Kalniagoda also making some ground there before turning speed.
Santosh Agama with another corner flag conversion. He kicked one successfully on the other side of the field. And Agama once again continues his kicking success. Wonderful conversion. And St. Joseph's clearly on top and make a very strong opening statement in the second half.
Yeah, not only in the second half, they are just making a strong statement to all the schools across, because they look well organized, a good drilled machine. Kicks are coming through. The halves combination working very well. Just wait and watch. St. Joseph's could turn around tables.
I think the Anthonians have replaced their kicking option to Tirusha Ekanayaka. Ekanayaka playing his third year for the St. Anthony's side, and with that knock on you could clearly see the conditions, the underfoot conditions prevailing at the moment. Come the kick-off, I think it was very warm, but then now with the torrential downpour that we had in the past 10 minutes, I think the conditions have clearly changed.
Yeah, conditions have changed, and the Josephians have adapted better than the Antonians in these conditions. Anthony's just finding it a bit too hard to function their machine when the rain came on.
Coach. Fine. Set. Steady.
Interestingly, I'll wait to see how St. Peter's adapt to these conditions. If this prevails tomorrow, the Peter Wrights coming from that loss at Mount Lavinia will have to adapt to these conditions at Nittawela. It's not the conditions that they are known to. I think this game provides good evidence as to how the conditions change altogether in the second half and in comparison to the first half. So let's see what St. Peter's have tomorrow. Meanwhile, Shuail Wasim hopes that his team could make a difference in the second half. Now Kaviska Jayasuriya breaking, could have not sent that ball out unnecessarily, but Tirusha Ekanayaka is right there to hold on to position. Now Washil trying to break through the Josephian defense. Amar Singh a push backwards by Thalinu Alvis.
Go back.
Once again, Washil to the senior Amar Singh, trying to keep the ball in close quarters, trying to use their forwards, trying to get some inspiration from the Josephian forwards early on in that first half. Isuare Pal has been pushed back. Wonderful defense. Now the ball comes out. Jayasuriya.
Roll away, White, roll away, no hands. Stay.
Replacements have also made the field. Ushan Sachinta makes his way onto the front row. Now Vijay Vadana. And in the meantime, St. Anthony's win themselves a scrum. So a lot of good action we've seen in the last few phases from the Anthonians. Just that they need to continue this onto the try line.
Yeah, true. After that Josephian try, Anthony's have learnt a lesson or two at keeping the ball closer to their forwards, gaining ground and moving forward into the 22-meter mark now. Just outside the scrum is happening. They need to find a way to break this defense. They have not broken the defense for for the season so far. So that's very important. They score their first try to get the nervous system out.
Washil once again, this time Gamaracha breaks from the scrum. Lovely movement, but then again Mohammad Makarim not acceptable from a player of that nature.
Yeah, the skipper needs to lead from front.
Come to the breakdown, next breakdown.
I like the way how Santosh Algama has controlled this game along with Gunawardena. Gunawardena has been in the forefront, but Algama has used the ball very well, taken his chances, kicked for touch, and then used the ball when it was needed with the forwards.
Yeah, true. Just lets the game flow when it needs and adapts accordingly. Santosh Algama can be so far, I think, one of the best 10s in the season.
Singer Schools once again makes no error with the line out. Thoroughly always barges through the middle.
Side.
Number 8. Number 8. No, you come inside.
This time the Josephians have been penalized. So 50-meter penalty for
number 6.
St. Anthony's, and then they've given the kicking duties to Ekanayaka. Ekanayaka will be hoping that he doesn't make the errors that Jayasuri committed early in this first half.
Number 6. Attacking side at game. Numbers spoken. Yeah, numbers.
The Josephian Nehan Pereira, they are coming off the side of the ruck.
5.
Taken quickly that time, and St. Anthony somehow or the other managed to hold on to that ball. Now Amar Singer, good tackle on him by Kalaniagoda. In fact, that is Peter Santosh.
Go back.
Now Bhavan, not the best of passes once again.
Advantage over.
And it's a chase to the ball. Tarik Maduranga is very fast, but very well done there by the Anthonian.
Advantage over.
Washil slowing things down that time. Wants to give his forwards enough time to get back.
Back.
Ball comes out to Ekanayaka. Ekanayaka puts in the kick that goes into the hands of Russian Gunawardena. Will want to counter attack from the point. Pereira almost missed that ball, but very well corrected there by Pereira. Wonderful chase from the little fullback. Here comes us. Sudaraka Deva Pereira tries score, has one player to beat, does not get through that, and in the meantime St. Joseph's College win themselves the penalty. So this is what pressure looks like, I think, Dinuka. The way St. Joseph's counter attack, Russian Gunawardena, quick ball out to their fullback Aaron Pereira, who brought that breakthrough, and then Sudaraka Deva Pereira
Number 9.
doing the rest of the work for the Josephians.
Yeah, if you're kicking to the opposition, either you need to kick to ground or the ball needs to find the grass, or you have to have good chases. On that occasion, Anthony's just kicking blindly, and Russian Gunawardena had plenty of time to counter attack.
Gersham Tangaya with another line out. The Josephians will be wanting to maul. Cheka Gunawardena does well. Once again, he has been the pillar of success in that Josephian line out. Now the ball comes out. The ball is with Rashmika Sandun and has Sandun touchdown? No, says the referee Shankar.
First movement ball would
For held up on that occasion.
First movement ball would.
See, it's interesting to have a lot of combinations in your team, Dinuk. They have the forward combination. They know that they can maul their way through as well, and then they have the explosive back lines in Josephs, and Coach Nilf Ibrahim has done really well with those two divisions throughout this run-up.
Steady.
True, a lot of hard work has been put in. That performance against Science would have been rusty because it's the first game. Yes, Gunawardena steps off one. That was too easy for Russian Gunawardena to score the bonus point try.
Untouched try that time. Russian Gunawardena saw the space. You can see the smile on his face. He knows how important this score is for his team. Once again, St. Anthony's caught nothing in their defense, and that's costing them this game. Santosh Algama will have an easy go at the post. His partner Russian Gunawardena touchdown right under the post. So makes no error with the conversion. So he maintains his 100% kicking success. Santosh Algama. And St. Joseph's continue to climb. I'd like to see if we do not have replay today, but that passage of play, Dinuk, there was no one covering Russian's running line, and that's something Coach Ibrahim would like to work on in the coming matches as well.
Which Ibrahim, Insaf? But Russian, just looked up and there was enough space for him to run through, just sniped his way through that.
Ekanaga with the restart. They were played as well to hold on.
Tackle now. Play on.
And looks like it's a turnover this time. St. Anthony is winning the ball.
Say last foot.
Shuel Washim trying to play it with the forwards this time. Trying to give his forwards some space, and when you do things like that, nothing's going to go on your way. Clearly, that time Mati Shamara Singer dropping that ball.
Yeah, looked up at the defense just before he caught that ball, Amarasinghe. And by the time he looked down, the ball was knocked down. So again, basics mistakes creeping up for St. Anthony's in that last 20. They need to hold on, or else this could be a big score.
Sane.
Gunawardena breaks to Algama. They're looking to run this one from their own 22. Madhuranga does really well. Not the best of passes from Gunawardena that time.
Outside.
This time the kick comes from Gunawardena, collected by Vashil, puts the ball to Kanishka Jayasuriya, once again out to Vashil. Trying to break on the corner is Nihan Pereira. And now Jayasuriya, and once again Dinuk. This has been the case for St. Anthony's in this 51 minutes of play. We've had clinical errors, and that exactly reflects on the scoreboard as well. 31 points in St. Joseph's, leading at Nittawela.
Yeah, true. If you see that again, that passage of play, that counter-attack move was good, but why was that loop around? There was no reason why that loop around it, because the fullback there, Jayasuriya, had plenty of space in front of him, at least to go into contact. So by doing that, and their key player Suel Wazira got injured. So the link man, the key player. So if he's not going to get this right, it's trouble time for St. Anthony's going into the season. The stretcher is brought out, which is not a good sign.
This is not really good. It's not good at all because Vashil has been that has played an integral role in that Anthonian team for the last 2 years. I think I've seen him play. I think he's developed as a player as well, playing at 9. And then this year he was expected to play that leadership role, but injuries like this is going to just put this team down. So coach Ronnie Ibrahim making the replacements. Avishka Kurukula Surya joins the team. I think this should be his first game, starting at coming on for Suhail Wasim. Interesting to see if Kurukula Surya could change things around. I remember 2 years ago Rashin Gunawardena changed things around for St. Joseph's, and since then he's had that starting number 9.
Yeah, true. And can be a blessing in disguise for St. Anthony's. Different patterns can come in. He's a young player, has a point to prove as well. And especially St. Anthony's players like this are very dangerous when they come on the bench. Nippy.
Reminds me of Mithun Hapugada. You know how Havelock Sports Club used Mithun Hapugada to good use. He's a very nippy scrum half. Comes in the second half and won almost quite a bit of games for the Park Club. Santosh with the kick, and looks like he knew that the penalty was in fact the penalty was conceded by St. Joseph's, taken quickly by St. Anthony's. Amarasinghe finally making a few meters. Run Amarasinghe that time. Kurukula Surya to his speedsters. This time Anthonians slowly building up faces. Amarasinghe once again breaks through the middle. Good intention from the Anthonians. You can see the celebration in the Josephian forwards. They know they've won this battle, and the Anthonians must be devastated.
Yeah, once again a good passage of play by the Anthonians. Took to the line, gained a lot of meters as well, but again at that crucial ruck where they need a quick ball, they lose players coming to clear that ruck, and that's where Josephians are capitalizing and turning over ball.
Replacements are coming in the form of Siobhan Gregory and Shanila Besekar. I think Coach Nilfa Ibrahim has decided that it is time to bring in the replacements, as Santosh Algama also has been taken out. Now St. Anthony's. Avishka out to his replacement prop forward. Referee has advantage for the Anthonians. Let's see if they could make the best out of this move. Amarasinghe breaks through the middle once again. Makarim out to Isurare Pala. Wonderful tackle, but referee Shankar Bekot will bring back play for the initial infringement. So fresh legs on the park for the Josephians. They are out here with a point to prove, Dinuk. Taken quickly once again.
Run away, blue, white, run away.
Kurukula Surya to Vijayawardena. Haven't seen too much of ball carries from Vijayawardena this evening. Now Avishka out to the other Amarasinghe.
Safe. Advantage.
Now Gamarachi makes a few meters. St. Anthony should score from this move. Fly half given no space for the Josephians. Mati Amarasinghe breaking through. There is no going past those two players.
Advantage.
And looks like referee wants to have a word with the skipper as well. Continuous infringements by St. Joseph's.
Captain. White captain.
Tarindra Alvis has left the field. So Roshan Gunawardena will
Number 6.
act as a stand-in.
Continuous infringement by the Josephians, and Nehan Pereira, who came on the side previously as well, gives away another penalty and cops a yellow card. This is an opportunity for St. Anthony's now.
Taking it quickly, St. Anthony's going with the prop forwards. Looking to score the first try. And finally, Bhavanda Dharmapala scores the first try, breaks the deadlock, and St. Anthony's had their first try in the Singer Schools Rugby League. It took them 124 minutes to score their first try, Dinuk.
Yeah, they'll be happy in the end. They've come through that hurdle. But it shows when you keep the ball close in these conditions, keep it forward.
Stern instructions from referee Shankar as well. We saw a bit of agitation from Dharmapala soon after he scored the try.
And you saw when you keep the ball close to the forwards how much impact they have in this game because of the conditions. And as soon as the ball is spread out, the strong Josephian backs, they are very good in defense also. They are not moving an inch to give any space to the Antonians in that back division. So the forwards have to do all the work from now on.
Thirushekha Nayaka this time misses the conversion, just angling out to the right, but St. Anthony's finally break that dreadlock, and I think they've got themselves that first try. Here's something to build from this point onwards. So replacements in the park for the Josephians, and they have a point to prove for their coach that they are worthy of that starting number. Few more replacements coming in for the Josephians as well. Looks like Coach Nilufar Ibrahim wants to empty his bench for the next few minutes of play.
Yeah, he has a cushion of 26 points now to use his bench and give them exposure going into crucial games in future.
Kicking off proceedings this time, and Amar Singh once again. Good collection of the ball. Vijay Vadana pushed back. Good pressure from the Josephians.
No, right, no hands.
And once again,
very lucky. That was a penalty. The scrum-half was in front collecting that ball. Very lucky not to have considered a penalty on that occasion.
But then again, Dinuk, if you could recollect that game, St. Thomas's vs. St. Peter's, first half, St. Thomas's conceded. In fact, they had about 12 or 13 handling errors. But then when they changed their game plan and kept the ball within close quarters, within their forwards, like you said, I think things turned around for the Thomians.
Yeah, true. That's exactly what these Antonians have to do as well.
Steady boys, very good.
There are two ways to play this game, Dinuk. Either you play to your strengths or try to play it to your opponent's weaknesses. Gunawardena to the replacement halfback. So that was Ruchira Nayaka. Now Shehan the push backwards by his counterpart Isuru Aryapala. And this time St. Joseph's knock on the ball. So it has been a swing song encounter, Dinuk. I think St. Joseph's but clearly have put their hand up and made a statement in this game. I think there has been a lot of errors from both sides, but it looks like St. Joseph's are also putting their hand up, saying that we are also a team that's a heavyweight and that's a team that everyone should be looking out for.
Yeah, true. Both teams have had their equal share of errors. However, when they execute from the set pieces, St. Joseph's have finished well, whereas St. Anthony's have lost position, lost moments, crucial moments in this game.
Kurukulu Syria that time a bit slow on that occasion. Almost lost that ball. It's early stages in the schools rugby league. Dinuk, early predictions. Royal College finishing on top. St. Joseph's also making a strong statement. What do you think the other teams that are to watch out in the schools rugby league?
I think Isipatana is one good solid team. So there are two unbeaten teams again locking horn on Sunday. Kingswood tomorrow with these conditions, they're going to be a handful against St. Peter's. So St. Peter's will not want to go two down early on. They have a solid team from 1 to 15. They've been a bit unlucky. St. Peter's. And it's hard to travel up in your second game after losing one so close.
Trying to run that ball from their own side, and once again unacceptable play from the Anthonians. St. Joseph's with the turnover. What do they have here? Let's see if they could convert their opportunities into a scoring. Gershom Tangaya with the break. Finds the space, and then it looks like the Anthonians are not 10 meters back. So I expect St. Joseph to take this one on the quick. Now Ruchida to Imesh Tisanaika. Tisanaika does really well to make inroads into that 5 meter. Chevron Gregory that time.
No hands.
Advantage played in favor of St. Joseph's, and Gershom Tangaya has a try for his name. You saw how Ishanka Bekun played advantage. He gave the warning twice to the Anthonians. They did not heed, and Gershom Tangaya saw the opportunity and scored.
Yeah, that's very good, isn't it, from the referee. He has been one man to watch in this game, playing advantage so well, and not blowing penalties as soon as he see in front, but letting the game flow. I think he's a good referee in the making. Ishank Abekon, when we saw him last week for the first time in the A Division Schools Rugby League, he looked brilliant, and if he keeps working on, I think he'll be one of the best in Sri Lanka.
Meanwhile, Aaron Pereira readies himself for the conversion. Santu Salgama has left the field. It's good to have a second option kicker as well, Dinuk, especially when it comes to those crunch moments. And Pereira should be a rightful replacement for the second choice. So looks like St. Joseph's have emptied their bench. The last 7 or 8 minutes of play will be an interesting play to watch, and a good opportunity for these new replacements that are joining the St. Joseph side.
There's some white on the park.
Interestingly, coach Inilfa Ibrahim has opted to keep Shehan Erand on the field. No error with that clearance kick.
Yes, center mark. Finger.
$38 points to 5. We have 4 minutes to go according to our clock. Dinuka, it's time for us to decide a player of the match as well. We've seen some impressive performances, especially from St. Joseph's. I'm not been convinced with how the way St. Anthony's have played. We'll come back to that later. Avishkar trying to use his forwards. The deficit stays at 33 points. So St. Anthony's have a mountain to climb in the lapse of 7 minutes. Doesn't seem to be a possible occurrence.
No, release.
And looks like referee will bring back play for that initial infringement. But talking about the performances, we've seen some effort from Shehan Kalaniagoda and Rashan Gunawardena, but you would agree that Santosh Algama has been the player to watch in this game.
Yeah, true. He always put the ball in forward of the forward eight, gave a lot of space. Knew when to get the ball out to the backs and when not to. Kicks were solid from Santosh Algama. So a clear man of the match for today will be Santosh Algama, clear man of the match, who are our official sponsors for man of the matches.
Slowing things down, St. Anthony's. I think this game is done and dusted. St. Anthony's will look for some consolation points. Piyush Ekanayaka on the far corner. Sends in the offload.
No hands. No, rough.
But it looks like it's a turnover. Very well done that time. And Sevon Gregory. A little bit devastated with that collection as well, Gregory. He's trying to prove his point as well as Dinuk trying to see if trying to make his coach trying to let his coaching staff let them know that he's worthy of a starting number as well. In the meantime, there's been an injury to an Anthonian player. So fresh legs are coming in for St. Anthony's late in this second half, and it looks like Umesh Veerasinger will be the replacement.
Crouch. Bye. Sit. Steady. Stay. Stay.
Now Kurukulu Surya. Lovely inside ball to Mohammad Makarim. Makarim makes good yards with that break. Now Jai Surya, who is acting as a fly half for the rest of the game. Gamarachi with the carry and coughs the ball out. And it looks like referee Shankar will bring back play for the infringement.
Mark.
A lot to expect in this March month. We have a lot of sporting action coming to you on a number one sports hub. We are celebrating 10 years as well. We look 10 years of sharing the passion on ThePapare.com.
Yes, St. Anthony's are playing without their number 10, so he's on the sideline limping, and now they get the replacement in.
I think the number 10 Nishant Bhavan did not have the best of evenings, and then
I think he's a youngster, Inshaf, just coming into the first 15 setup, especially when you have someone like Teekshan who is playing the big match, captaining the big match, a leadership role at 10, so it's hard to fill a shoe like that. And that's the unluckiest point for these players, because the scheduling is such. If the league had started in April or May, it would have been given more opportunities for players.
Breaking through the ranks is St. Joseph's. Has one player to beat. Will he have the legs? Sends in the offload, corrected very well.
No hands.
And then the ball pops out, and St. Anthony's have turned into good passage of play from St. Joseph's, just that they could not hold on to the ball. And Kurukulu Surya will make a kick, but that kick doesn't find too many meters. So one last attacking option available for St. Joseph's.
Last play.
Last play, says the referee.
You anyway.
Royal College, of course, last week defeated Mali. They were scoring a staggering 62 points. Dinuk, I think they've done their basics right. So expect the battles between Royal St. Joseph's and I'm not trying to erase out the Peterites as well too early. As St. Anthony's try to search for that one last try before they finish this second week.
Last foot.
Once again, St. Joseph's with the ball.
Say last foot.
Johan Anjana making a bit of yards for St. Joseph's, just that the ball has to be given away. So here comes St. Anthony's.
Okay. No hands. No hands. You lost the ball. Wide. Oh. Stay.
And that should be the game. St. Joseph's College came to Nittawela with a purpose, and they have their purpose fulfilled. The second win in the Singer Schools Rugby League, and St. Joseph's should be very happy with this win here at Nittawela. $38 points to 5. That's how this game ends at Nittawela. The Josephians had the upper hand in the first half, and then they exploited things in the second half. I think that's why the score came up to 38. They could have got more points on board, but then that's something for the coaching staff to look at. A lot of clinical errors from both sides, unnecessary gifting away of position and gifting penalties. So that's something both schools look at, but for St. Anthony's with the tail deeper, there is a lot of issues remaining to be answered at St. Anthony's, but expect St. Anthony's to come back strong when they play Trinity next week.
Yeah, for sure. This team is no short of talent. They have everything in their squad. It's just that getting them into right shape and at the right moments. That's where they are lacking, the Antonians. But overall, I think they need to strengthen their ball handling skills and also the forward play.
38 points. That's how much St. Joseph scored. I think they'll be happy to take home that bonus point. Last season as well, the bonus points came to be of very good use when it came to decide that league contender. St. Joseph's had a rare chance of winning the league because of that bonus points they collected.
Yeah, true. It will come to that last moments, isn't it? Those bonus points, and they'll be very happy to travel up to Kandy and to go away with the bonus point.
So there you go. That's the breakdown. That has been the tale. St. Anthony scoring their first try for 2019. Just a try was what they could score, but St. Joseph's College 5 tries, 5 conversions and 1 penalty coming off. Santosh Algama 5 conversions and a penalty. He'll be very happy to take those points home, and then Santosh Algama was an obvious choice for the clear men player of the match for the evening. So that's a wrap from us here at Nittawela. On behalf of Dinuk Bhaskar and myself, Inshaf Kapoor, that's goodbye from on behalf of the Papare technical and production crews.
To be a man is to sweat for every last inch of it. harder you push yourself, the louder your body will protest. From sweat to grease, grease to dandruff. Fight back with Clear Men, 2 times the fighting power of ordinary shampoos. Beat grease, beat dandruff. Unbeatable performance for the unbeatable man. Power through the odds. Clear, 0 dandruff, nothing to hide.
දැන් යහපෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. බැලිබන් යහපෝෂ රසයකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ. පදම පරක්කු ඇයි?
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් පුබුදා.
හොඳම මැලිබන්තේ
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා. මැලිබන්තේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා.
මැලිබන්තේ පදමට කහට.
Stumble upon a surprise. Fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination. Sri Lankika Samage Terima, no limit.
The most anticipated school rugby league is back in action. Witness the match-winning tries, heart-stopping tackles, moments that will take you to the edge of your seat. Experience the road to greatness. Catch the Singer League 2019 live exclusively on Dialogue Television, channel number 77.
බැලිබන් යහපෝෂ මේක රස එක. රසයකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
මැලිබන්තේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ. පදම පරක්කු ඇයි?
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් පුබුදා.
හොඳම මැලිබන්තේ
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා. මැලිබන්තේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා.
මැලිබන්තේ පදමට කහට. දැන් යහපෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. බැලිබන් යහපෝෂ රසයකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
Discover fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination. Sri Lankika Samage Terima, no limit.
When she's special, she's not just a girlfriend. She is your sweetheart. When you feel it, you don't just call it sunshine. You call it warmth. When you reveal your deepest emotions, it's not just art. It's freedom. And when its essence is premium cocoa butter, it's not just chocolate. It's Ravello. Chocolate so special, you call it Ravello.
සතුට බෙදන නම ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම සනසුම දෙන නම ඒ සිංහ නම මිහිර මවන නම පවස නිවන නම සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම ඒ සිංහ නම
මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය